right, so Joshua, as you can see behind me, they are trying to seal the ballot boxes with all the seals given to the party agents here to ensure the sanctity of the boxes and also the ballots that are contained in it. Voting over here began at 7 in the morning, and we expected 216 eligible voters to participate in the exercise. But before the polls came to an end, 192 people cast their vote, leaving 24 people that couldn't turn up for their exercise. As you can see behind me, the returning officer and some party agents are trying to trash some issues out, which I'm here to get as to what the issues have been. Initially, the member of parliament in the person of Honorable Yusuf Jaja has been around, and he has been optimistic of carrying the day from today up to 7th December when the main election takes place. And also the MPP's candidate in the person of Ibrahim Sani also made his projection of snatching the seat from the NDC that has held on to it for some time now. I would like to briefly engage the MP to pick his thoughts on the process so far. Honorable, good evening. Thanks once more for being on GH1 television. What's your general assessment over overall turnout? 192 persons have voted out of 216. What do you say to this turnout?
Yeah, once again, we are most grateful to Almighty God for bringing this exercise to a very successful end. And we so far 192 out of 216. Obviously, in percentage terms, that is 88.8, and in absolute terms, that's 89%. So to have 89% turnout, I think it's a good one. So just left at about 20 or 19 something people who could not come out to vote. So we are grateful to Almighty God. I think you were all here and you saw how the process went on smoothly. So we just need to give thanks to Almighty God. And I know even with this special ballot, NDC will have, out of this 89%, NDC will have not less than 70%. I'm telling you, with the security and the EC officials, NDC will get, out of this 89, NDC will get over 70% of it.
I've engaged your closest contender, Ibrahim Sani, and he mentioned that you have held on to this seat for some time now, but he's done his homework properly, that he's going to unseat you. What do you say to that?
Of course, what do you expect him to say? Even if it is you who, if you are made the candidate to contest me today and you have been interviewed before the public, will you say you will be defeated? Obviously no. So let him be dancing, be tickling himself and be dancing. Groaning from, we are relying on the good Lord. We have done our bits. We have contributed our quota to the community, and they are highly appreciative. And it is out of that they will vote for us massively again. He is not a match. I don't want to feel big. I don't want to be so proud about it. We have done our best, and we are leaving the rest to the Almighty God to determine. And come 7 December, I hope you will be here. You will be assigned to be here again, and you will then be looking for him to interview him, and he will be nowhere to be found. Mark it on the wall by the grace of God.
Well, a good one over there. But an incident nearly occurred in the afternoon. What message do you have for voters come December 7?
Which incident, please?
Someone attempted taking a picture of his...
I was not here, that was what I was told. Yeah, but we all know voting and taking a picture is against the law. So that one, we will not countenance or entertain it. It's against the law. Why will you vote and take a picture? It's not done. But I was not here, I cannot confirm whether it happened or not. But you said attempted, so let's leave it like that. But it's against the law.
All right, Joshua, so as you've heard from him, he is carrying the day come December 7 and will be having some 70% out of the 100 92 votes that have been cast today. So that is him. I'm trying to look around for the NDC MPP parliamentary candidate, but he's not in sight. When I grab him, I will bring you to speed as to what his thoughts are concerning the special vote in Joshua.
Right, Calvin, but before you take leave of us, put some spotlight on the incident that you were referring to. Someone attempted, or the person succeeded in taking a picture of his thumb-printed ballot. What really happened?
Well, I can confirm to you that a gentleman came by, and upon voting, he took a picture of what he has done, but he was actually brought to delete the picture that he took, and there was a near altercation between him and anyone around at the time. But since his phone has been taken from him by the officials and making sure that the video or the picture he took was deleted, he was let go.
So the picture was deleted, but the guy still his ballot was counted, basically it was put in the ballot paper, the ballot box,
ballot box. Yeah, he actually was allowed to deposit his ballot in the box.
Very well. Calvin, thank you so much for the yeoman's job at Mpasaso North. We'll be looking forward to coverage on the 7th of December, which is this Saturday. And of course, if you want all the information as and when they trickle in, and in fact very credible information for that matter, we are your election hub. But let me come in studio and have a conversation with the head of political desk here at the EIB Network, Ibrahim Al-Hassan. Ibrahim, it's been quite a busy day for us.
Most definitely. Call it a dress rehearsal for Saturday, and I will not be wrong. And it's been largely smooth, just that two regions did not get to partake in today's exercise.
The eastern and western regions.
Most definitely, and they will get the opportunity to do so on Thursday. I've engaged some security officers in these regions, and the police administration especially, and then of course the military, will have to do something about their scheduled deployment.
Right.
In fact, some of them were supposed to be deployed tomorrow, immediately after today's exercise.
Exactly.
The police service and then the military and then other security agencies will have to revise those schedules, especially for those affected in these two regions. Otherwise, they will be disenfranchised.
Interesting, but we are confident from what the EC is telling us that all is in place to ensure that on Thursday they actually cast their ballots, and I'm sure that, like you rightly said, the deployment plan will have to be relooked at. But let's talk about today. And when you look at the caliber of people who voted today, media personalities.
Yes.
We are looking at people drawn from the security services, electoral officers, people who will be very busy on Saturday, so had to take part in today's process. Now, when you look at these caliber of people and the incidents we are hearing, Mpasaso West Wogon, for instance, voter inducement in some areas, we are told, even like Mpasaso North, personalities trying to take pictures of some printed ballots for what? To what end?
Well, so let's deal with the near chaos that ensued at the Mpasaso West Wogon.
Right.
Mpasaso West Wogon is not just an ordinary constituency, it's an elite constituency, populated with university students, populated with the elite in our society relative to the East Legon and the Enclave, right? And the fact that we have enlightened people who are built to vote today, or who are built to vote today, like we mentioned, the security personnel, the media, and then the EC officers, those who are supposed to ensure that come Saturday we get it right once again, and we have these happenings. But for Mpasaso West Wogon, the point must be made that these happenings came from the politicians.
Right.
And so the incumbent MP and then the Minister of State decided to give out goodies.
Refreshment,
food, packed food. And interestingly, those in the queue, majority of them, per the videos we've seen, were in their uniforms.
Prison personnel.
Yes.
I have to put it out.
Yes.
Because the videos are on social media.
Exactly. And they were receiving these packed foods, right? If that is not voter inducement, then I don't know what definition we'll give to that.
Right.
Because it could have been done differently. If indeed it was to offer them refreshment, you could have picture camp somewhere. After the entire exercise, when they are walking home, you give it to them.
Right.
But they are now in the queue going to exercise their franchise. There's an option for them to either vote for you or vote against you. And then in the process of doing that, you hand them something. that will be to their benefit. What are you telling them?
Right.
So I think there was high level of indiscretion on the part of the incumbent MP, to be honest with you, and to put it mildly.
So the explanation that this was just to refresh the people, I mean, for you, it doesn't cut. Once the people are in the queue to actually get...
They are going to determine your fate as whether you have a job or otherwise.
For the next 4 years.
That's the point. So let them finish. In that case, nobody can say you've induced them because they might have exercised their franchise, whichever option that they deemed fit. So after that, you are giving them something to take home. That's understandable. But they are in the queue. And mind you, even come Saturday,
right?
If people are in the queue and any politician goes there to give them refreshment, that is wrong, and that must be flagged as wrong.
Right.
No two ways about that. There are no ifs and there are no buts. And you saw how that nearly mad and otherwise smooth exercise. Right. Yeah. So that is one of the incidences. Another one has got to do with, as you mentioned, people taking pictures
of their ballots. I mean, we saw a lady from Mpasaso West Wagon, and her accusation is that these people, the security people and others who were taking pictures of their ballots, wanted to present it to the incumbent MP. So it feels like everything is drawn towards the incumbent MP. And she says, well, there are monetary gains for them if they do so. So that's why they had to present these and take pictures. I mean, like you said, these are people who should know better. You and I should know better.
Exactly.
Our colleagues in the media should know better.
Exactly.
The people in the security services should know better. The EC officials must know better. But this happened with them in Mpasaso West Wagon.
And as you mentioned, you always wonder why any able-bodied man, mentally sound individual, will want to vote and show evidence of where the person voted.
Right.
But for the fact that the person has been promised something, some goodies, right? And now the politicians have realized that if they offer you everything that they need to offer you or they have in their possession, and then leave it to your conscience to go and do the needful, chances are you might take whatever they are offering you, but you might vote against them.
So the fear delegate syndrome.
Exactly. So now they then demand that you show proof of your loyalty before whatever is due you is given to you. So they dangle it in front of you. If it's a vehicle, they tell you that it's parked here. Whatever it is, they tell you that here it is. Show me evidence, show me proof of you voting for me or doing my burden, and then I hand it over to you. That is the biggest threat to our democracy, Joshua. And if this is not checked, and I've been covering this for God knows how long, and many of us have been doing this for God knows how long. It's one of the things that the security officers look out for, and they will ensure that you just don't delete it, but you are arrested, and sometimes your vote might not even count. I was in Kumewu when a similar incident happened. The gentleman was arrested, his vote did not.
So then what signal does it send of the readiness of the security services to ensure that we don't see a repetition? Because mind you, if you are coming for equity, then this time around you have to present clean hands. Do they have the clean hands to present? From what we have seen today?
I agree, but the challenge will be at what point it was discovered that he had taken shot of his stamp-printed ballot paper. If he had arranged it, but if he was caught red-handed, as eyewitness in Kumewu, then chances are the security officers there would not allow you to deposit that particular stamp-printed ballot paper into the ballot box. But mind you, the special prosecutor issued a statement.
Interestingly, in fact, let me quickly fetch that statement so that we can read that to our viewers as well, because special prosecutor has an interest in this particular election, and the statement basically is telling the election would have him to deal with, his office to deal with. So I will fetch that particular statement from the special prosecutor, and then we'll read that to Good. So I do have it here. It says that, and let me quickly run through that one so that at least we can have that conversation.
Most definitely.
It says the Office of the Special Prosecutor has deployed its mandate and powers to assure the security and sanctity of the 2024 general elections through 2 of the votes. The OSP reminds the public that the law prohibits corrupt acts in relation to the elections. It is a serious offense to engage in vote buying, vote selling, intimidation, threats of violence, acts of violence, or impersonation of a voter or an electoral officer. And with all of this, I saw snippets of this happening today. So, Mr. Special Prosecutor, how far?
Yes, if you
because if you really want to send a message towards Saturday, this is the time to do so.
Most definitely.
I mean, it was in the public eye.
And claims of impersonation was also flagged at Okankwe, Ayawaso Central.
Right.
And then of course Ablikma Central. It was flagged at Ablikma Central, and so the OSP will just have to
it's interesting how someone decides to say, you know what, let me impersonate an immigration officer,
yes,
and then cast my ballot today
for the person, in the name of the person, when you are not the person. And that's the typical definition of impersonation. Aside that, the financial inducement and vote buying, the evidence clearly there, the OSP can step in and then investigate further.
Right.
We're not saying take it on face value. Get in there, investigate, and then let's have some semblance of sanctity going to Saturday.
Exactly.
Because this is just a microcosm.
I mean, this is 0.07 of the entire voting population.
Yes.
And we are already seeing these acts in these areas.
Yes.
When 18.77 million people decide to vote on Saturday, what will happen?
And if these by-elections that have come and passed are anything to go by, then OSP should be ready to know that there will be political parties who will form groups and arm those groups with money, who have voter ID cards of potential voters. Those people will go to a certain place, receive inducement, pick their voters' ID cards, and then go and vote. And usually these groups create their offices closer to polling stations. We witnessed that in Kume, we witnessed that in Asen North, right? And so that is what now some of the political parties have decided to put their able-bodied men to. That's the use. The macho men. They are in charge of forming cliques, having resources in their hands, and dishing out these resources to potential voters, often closer to polling stations. So you go get your inducement, go and vote, or in some cases vote, get the evidence, come show the evidence, and then you take your goodies home.
I remember, was it Asen North?
That was Asen North.
Asen North, where there was a building where the people were very close.
That was operational center.
To the polling center. And I remember I was on air and watching and going like, hey, what is happening? But it looks like we've not learnt our lessons.
No.
Clearly.
No.
From all those by-elections, the challenges we saw in there, we've not learnt our lessons because let me say, people who are supposed to know better today have demonstrated that sometimes the people you expect so much from will not really give you what you're expecting from them. Because what we saw today was a shape. Now Tema West.
Yes.
Very, very interesting. Where it is alleged that a police commander decided to go finish voting, take out his mobile phone, take a shot. And this is a police commander.
Yes. You ask yourself, to what end? That individual who asked the police commander to do this, what was dangled before this police commander? What was on the line? Is it that the police commander's portfolio, his very status was on the line if he doesn't show evidence that he voted one way or the other? And it's befuddling how a police commander who should know better, much better than any ordinary Ghanaian, will go ahead and do this. And guess what? He was arrested, and then the media there were asked not to report on this. Can you imagine?
Interesting.
So yes, the signs are there for all of us to see, but hopefully we all draw lessons from this before Saturday.
And Saturday will be interesting, and I'm sure now you out there, you're wondering, okay, so we've seen today, we've seen how the coverage has gone. What are we to expect on Saturday? Ibrahim is here. I mean, the planning. Ibrahim, what should the people be expecting from us on Saturday?
Well, so in 2016, we took the country by storm, and for that matter the world, and that was when many people didn't even know that we had all the gadgets, probably much more than the CNN, because they were referring to us as the CNN of Ghana, forgetting that we are a par by way of logistics with those international cable networks. And so obviously that was 2016. 2020 we did it with best 4 years experience, and then in 2024 viewers can be rest assured that the same resources, the same gadgets, the same mechanisms that we deployed now have been much more enhanced So Jojo, our group managing news editor, was telling us about a South African media outlet that was running its mouth and bragging that is the first television network in Africa to introduce augmented reality. And that was just about 2-3 years ago. Little did they know that in 2016 EIB deployed augmented reality. Right. And for many viewers who might not know what augmented reality was, if you watch us in 2016, you might have seen John Dramani Mahama standing right in front of you in this studio. You might have seen Nana Dankwa Akufo-Addo standing as in, more or less like in a personalized impression. Yeah. And that is augmented reality. And this time around, yes, we'll deploy that and more.
And more.
But just be rest assured that we will pursue accuracy.
Right.
We will not sacrifice speed, no. But the bottom line is that we'll be accurate and make us your election hub.
That's it.
And trust me, even a pinfall will be reported. You get to know how your candidate is faring. You get to know how your MPs are faring, because now the attention is just not on the presidential candidate.
In fact, the parliamentary race has become so tough because of the nature of parliament that we have now. Equal numbers on both sides, yes. And then an independent candidate. And looking at the dynamics now, everybody's expecting what kind of parliament are we having for the 9th parliament.
And trust us with your analysis. Trust us with your analysis to break it down for you.
Right.
So before even the process ends, you know where we are headed.
Well, Ibrahim Al-Hassan here, head of the political desk at EIB, where we promise you nothing but excellence in broadcasting. But talking about Ayawaso West Wuogon, where so much has happened today, let's go live to the grounds. Nurain Abbas is on the grounds. He's been monitoring all the events, giving us all the shots and sounds and sights of what is happening there. Nurain, talk to me. Finally, the polls have closed nationwide. In Ayawaso West Wuogon, there were incidents recorded earlier. What is the state currently?
Yes, Joshua, as you rightly mentioned, at 5:34, voting has officially come to an end. Currently, sealing is happening, and this, Joshua, I must tell you that the chaos that characterized the sealing and closing of the election, the entire process, was more than what we have witnessed the entire day. Now, as you can see behind me here, we can see both the incumbent NP and the parliamentary candidate of the NDC trying to engage the EC officials to seal the ballot boxes and also to end the process. Now, 935 people were expected to cast their ballot here. A total of 829 cast their ballot. So, issues of voter inducement happened earlier in the day, where we saw some supporters of John Dumelo trying to express their displeasure because they believe that supporters of Sayam Al-Hassan were trying to induce voters in the queue. And the problem was in the queue. That was what caused the entire chaos. Now, we asked her later on that, is it true? How true was it? That was she aware? She said she wasn't aware about the fact that her people were trying to induce the voters with food. Now, the supporters of the NDC, I beg your pardon, John Dumelo, are saying that they are not going to allow any form of intimidation, because we saw some people trying to take shots of their ballots and sending them to the incumbent MP, allegedly for her to pay them. They have denied this, but so far what I can tell you is that they are trying to seal the ballot boxes. What you are seeing in your visuals right now are the EC officials trying to take the ballot boxes away, having sealed them, and this alone caused an entire chaos at the end of the polls. So, Joshua, this is the situation currently at Ayawaso West Wuogon.
Interesting. Nurain, talk to me. So, you say that the incumbent MP, Lydia Sayam Al-Hassan, says she was not aware. Is it that she is not aware of the food or the package that was given to the people who were casting their ballots, or she's not aware that that amounts to voter inducement? Which, clarify that for me.
She says she was not aware of the voter inducement, the alleged voter inducement attempt. But the interesting thing is, Joshua, we have visuals of her in the company of her supporters trying to give food to some of the people who were trying to cast their ballots. We didn't see her when her supporters were trying to give the people in the queue food, but we saw her with her supporters trying to, they were actually packing food in polythene bags, trying to give them to people who were trying to cast their ballot. But this, I that, hey, if you come, if you come the whole day and you are trying to cast your ballot, and then they give you something to eat, that should be a problem.
Right. So she's aware of the food and the packages being given, but she's not aware that amounts to voter inducement. Quite interesting.
She says she's not aware of both.
She's not aware of both.
Yeah,
even
but we saw her.
You said
she's not aware
her.
of both. She said she wasn't.
Right. No, tell me what.
Yes, Joshua. Now? She said she's not aware of both, but we have visuals of her in the video trying to packaging food in polythene bags. But she said she's not aware that food was being shared to some people in the queue.
And what about the allegations of people having to take pictures of their ballot papers and then allegedly send it to her for financial gain?
Yes, so we had about 3 people who tried to take shots of their ballots. Allegedly, what we have been able to gather is that they are trying to send these shots to the camp of leader Sarah Hassan for them to get paid. That is what the NDC supporters are alleging. But the camp of leader Sarah Hassan have refused, they've actually refuted these claims, saying that they do not know anything about these allegations.
Interesting. Nurain, what is happening behind you now? We see that there is some level of words being thrown, traded here and there. What is happening at the police station now?
Yeah, so currently the ballot boxes are being transported from the place of votes to the police station, the interior of the police station. We have the police personnel and supporters of both candidates following them, and this alone is causing chaos here. That is what you are seeing in your visuals right now.
And what's the chaos about? Is it that they are not content, or the agents have not done their work? What really is causing all of that?
The whole chaos is being caused by the fact that they want to protect the ballots. They want to protect the ballots. They don't want anybody to come snatch the ballots and do any sort of, something unexpected. So all of this chaos that is happening right now, supporters of both parties trying to protect the ballots.
So what?
Right now, the police personnel are trying to transport the ballot boxes inside the interior of the police station here at Legon. And supporters of both candidates are at each other's throats, Joshua.
So
in
what?
their bid to attempt the ballot boxes.
Right. So what? They don't trust the police to take security over the ballot boxes. They want to be in there. Is that what they're asking?
Joshua, I can hardly hear you. There's so much chaos and noise here. I can hardly hear you.
Nurain, but is it that they want to be in there with the ballot papers? Is that what they are requesting?
Unfortunately, I can't hear your question, Joshua.
Well, thank you, Nurain. Thank you, Nurain, for bringing us updates from Ayawaso West Wagon. So, yes, it's the 2nd of December 2024. We are in the Bronya month, and clearly some 5 days to the general elections on Saturday. 14 regions and over 100,000 voters have already taken the lead in our bid to elect the next president of the Republic of Ghana. But the campaign is not over, and we are in the home stretch, and my job is to bring you all the updates on what's happening across the country. So let me tell you, John Dramani Mahama, after crisscrossing 15 regions, finally pitched camp in the Ashanti region over the weekend, and he's expected to be there for 6 days. But he has a message for Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, who he says is following him boot for boot.
The person may catch him and say, Uncle Shia, Madam Hajia Semira Emra, Nontu Nenkwada Nina Emra, no fa Nempa Emra, no men da asantimemu, Okosro Eba Foma, Abato Ayebetri, NDC Bedin Kunim.
But Dr. Bawumia, some say, is doing 3-factor authentication as his return to Kumasi was for blessings.
Yamia Shiramo, the prayers from your house. Of Philadelphia, that's where you home.
To seek for prayers.
Ufa wakata di enoso enkata meso.
So tell Doc that when it's time to I can put my jacket on him. And later, I'll tell you about how Kumasi may not get a CEO, but could look like Dubai. So this is Campaign Uncensored. I am Joshua Kojo Medsa. Buckle up, 5 days to the elections. Let's do this. be it the shortest 30 minutes of your life, but today it's like the shortest 80 minutes of your day. Well, let's talk about John Dramani Mahama. You know how it's said that the Ashanti region is the World Bank of the NPP. John Mahama says, because John Mahama cannot believe that he's getting this number of people following him in the Ashanti region.
Me so Diana Kumasi near way Asante man near way anyway there Entina Dr. Baumien to be nano Entina Omunina Omoda Omoso Mahama Hodai Omo Bekasa na meeting apie fi omanum ezu miami hu se afi abato ayebetui bibi abc ewa santiman ha.
So according to John Mahama, Bibi Besi, hey, Bibi Besi. But then that's not all. He says that Dr. Baumia, from what I have seen here, it tells me that you are afraid of me, but you don't want to admit it. So when I pass here, you are passing there, and we will meet boot for boot here in the Ashanti region.
Osomia Echemu, end of October. You call OT region. Na near the northern region, and you call OT. Na region na anke wase twaso, any Ashanti region. And so yeah, just say about, and you say, oh, Dr. Baumia. Or say Betzana had 2 weeks. You say from 3rd to 18th. And they say, okay, and yes, you call Western North, you call Western, near Sambra Central. You baby, you know, not on no sweet vehicle. If you say near Pesa, you mean Nubesia, na Ebia BBAC. Enti, oh, we call ya, and yes, so you might date say ya back. And then me sorry, yes, Dr. Baumia, asa Edjaniaba, Kumasi. Eza. Na, nyame pesa me kache nene se. Opera. Uncle Shia, Madam Hajia Semira Emra, Nontu Ninkwada Nina Emra, Nofa Nempa Emra, no men da asantimemu, or Kosro Eba Foma, Abato Ayebetri Kudim.
All right, so talking about the Ashanti region, John Mahama is there, but of course, Dr. Baumia says no gaba. And now, Dr. Baumia is in the Ashanti region for something very special. You know how the NPP says the battle is the Lord. So Dr. Baumia says, dear Lord, take over the battle. He needs the mantle. He needs a mantle that can power him, a mantle that can empower him and make sure that his chances are so solid, a mantle that would make him the man of the people, a mantle that will put the soul on him. Let's go.
Ghana ehia mpaibo yemai ehia nyamishira enti mede hihye foforo eba yebe hihye pilgrimage authority sa pilgrimage authority no ebeboa Christopher ene kramofo yebeboa kramofo omobeko hajj yebeboa Christopher omobeko Israel akobo mpaye amagana man migide se yenya sanshira no a Ghana ebenya nshira enti yenyina yebenya sampa ebono mfaso ewo yemai munyina meba Philadelphia anapei doma mabehu haha abro minti asies.
Coming to Philadelphia movement today, the things I have witnessed with my eyes beats my imagination.
Mehu bida yami ashiramo.
God has really blessed this man and has blessed the Philadelphia movement.
Therefore, me besrem paibo ho.
So I have come to seek for prayers from your heart.
Philadelphia, that's where you ho.
To seek for prayers.
Ufa wakata dieno so enkata meso.
To seek for prayers from the house of Philadelphia and for for the prophet of God that you use your apron to cover me and pray for me.
Charlie, we are living in the days of the prophetic. Who says something today? Something day. So Dr. Baumia says, just put the robe on me, because Bible says that at the point when the prophets were moving, even their shadows were making people rise. And Bible says people went for some prophet's apron, and the apron was healing the sick. So if aprons can heal the sick, I mean, Philadelphia, put it on me. Let me win number 1 on the ballot. But while Dr. Baumia is in church, and the man is asking for prayers, he's asking for blessings, divine interference, and all of that, there's another pastor. He says, hey, today I am taking the mantle from those in the shrines. I will curse you. 7 curses. Let it roll.
We have 7 curses are waiting for the wicked Ghanaians on the voting day. Onyame Emma Enomia Emodin Enfama nipa biara obekoso nobody decide say one day obe 7 ballot boxes odi bi bewurawura mu na ono obe pese omo party de bedoso se wo yeti mamuni so ye semtroni se wo ye police ni se wo ye sojani se wo ye electoral commissioner na wo so oni de obe modan no de pipa ni bi ewura mu de ma party bi a wo dono bia onyame etenda onyame agrada onyankopon en strike se nipa no otuni na biara onyankopon ma kwanhia onhunu bi da ento no ebra won sori biem enipa bia okoto edi ma party bi no otumienu ana miensa ebro ba ko de ma party bia onyame ema owuo ensa no wone ne ma na sifo nyinara ebra eguso count no so bi kanto nese ofagum aba na wodane no de komo bi biara send nipa kon accidenta ebetete ne dam ama nipa kon won tren wiase biem ene onyame mani ni nachi ne nkwa ne nyina isi electoral commission for enipa bia o isia oso de obetena so manipulate figures obedane no say 20 what the mienu akwa ku zero aka wa 200 bia no onyame manipa otofoma opro obi biara ono so party bim na obehwe se ono de on pe kwampa pe bim faso no obi decide se obomodena na ono de wawura party no de baba EC official se bia o party bim ene EC fonim ene appoint no ena wo be wie mama ne party don biara no se nipa no onyankopon a oma ahokyere ene enimguase ene ahoyira edam etu nipa no onyame ma ne strike no ekopim se nipa bobodam obekọ ahokyerem na oma no watete apro kopim so be frasasi so politician bia enipa bia where politics wo ka ho bi na obemoda de sika Ghana sika ebechiche nkrofo eye Ghana de na wo wiaye enye na ketua obomoda konye free baby eye Ghana sika na wo wiaye biara onyamani mumuwo onyamani kokoma onyamima stroke nche no onyamima enifra ento no kwam any officer, a policeman, a military officer, our field now see one of the obey no officers now be more than no audience ebe pam beginners ebe
actually betche de kaya na kwanta dem ma kwa amedi lagwa family be ma kwa anka na ni mi se lab bi wo kumasi ya no mo e twa ebi mu no kwasa se ho de test na enya de se oferie sawa ko hospital now doctor na ka cho say ya de se wo bojem ana wo wa be se o mi se wo ya de se wo bojem ya de bi te se typhoid afa hepatitis B and C diabetes e yesi twa de cancer e to ni petri mu ye ye from ana fo be mem ana fo be kwa na be bo mi ya de na wo bi ana fo ke kaye na
why na ngausa these plenty cases for one election. Hey, anyways, well, I promise but let's go. Let's go back to Dr. Baumia. You know, the debate has always been about
Sapa so ni sapa from what they aba fan wo yen tafo ayina sa anasa ayina nine afi wo pese wo mi se ba ba wo no yo ba na se be ma ni nyina mu wo ye mensuo fi se abedila wo ye ni wo dida so ye mfidi a maso ye de ye testa wo do nyina bi kasi e dia de de che be hwe so fra ye kuma se ofori pro ye ni STC workshop na e de di hwe ni mu ye ye aduma fi to da e ko si na me da ye number ni
0244 96 49 22 0541 1431 68.
Amedilab Laboratory
After I'm free Amedilab Diagnostic Services. I work for from opposite STC yard. And I a branch back a gland be the kids will be a shed by emergency to China. In the Adipoti by emergency to China. In the Adipoti, I say, I will ensure be I the cat bear my own shoe. I a friend a seminal fluid. It is like a idea be a nourish bear my own shoe, send a bear or neb or bear ne who and come one a bear who and come one a bear ding. But I did back upon a can prostate once a mile, can say F. Johnson. Into prostate gland, no, you will be a film, I a friend urethra. That is baby a bema or Jones offer. Into a honor, ye become once him. Into prostate gland, no, a idea be a say a bema engineer, net and also a yakese. Into mostly no, ye advises a bema be a say unya bear 40 years, air qua, and a cell utu anamo ever a medical services, ever regular checkups. At least every 6 months, be and 1 year, be ever checking on the size of the prostate. Into your from the area, your sizes are shy. Who say,
okay, Saida, during the day, no me at here.
And I say, yakese. Into say, a prostate enlargement. Rebecca say, a day. Prostate enlargement, Bruni, a kind of BPH, benign prostate hypertrophy, and hyperplasia. There's a prostate gland na Americano, a adequate way be a young coquabono, but uninia na and also a yakese. The main cause of sad end of the day, and shed an imbati associated with crampo. No more 100 Ghana, no, Wakotu amount. If any map and if we know NGT for an airban, on which I walk once, no one beside me said, I ain't found a walk away the apple to Laban apple. And then so, when you what grass or when you want to know, or beside me say, and can into almost require the discussion at the right inside animal, and a woman who wants a moving chair woman. After the moon, some woman into no digital form, after the way in Mumu, and also my painting, but I back a Emma, and also security for us to make them one, almost no almost at least when into one free what the air call to come.
Okay, Saida, not me, besides, hello.
Yes, I'm making also.
Yeah, Sikano so or the mom say, Fanya de Ebia na Edia mom and I say Ebia na utimi find ye be movie from there no na me person me hunu say na utimi nya obi a utimi se cheka say me omoma mi sika ni bi sen and I say dey
Yentumi anye bisa because some who amono na omo nyina ejane fi ho a omo parliamentary candidate outside now ka ontumi background so krampo ye.
Okay, it is a say no about on the corner we nyina no nipa dodo san and electoral committee mamoti as 306 and etimi akwa apoto ayehwe and etimi akwa apoto ayehwe sana na chese voting turn up no it's very high sana be koso de ene na betimi aboa wo dwumadia ye die se omamba bia no ebe ye na sede na wako akoto naba entina name na ugwaso akoto naba entina name na ugwasem so awoka
no kre
special voting ya ye ka ho asem
special voting ya ye ka ho asem free afia SARS o mo hyase o man Ghana afi two nationals enough na ensema a hyase ebobo bayi no kwasem ni egu eye electoral commission no adwuma a odie ni nyina egu nanum ase papa entino ye be share mpanyumfo se issues a start a ebobo base no chese keka ko memenda no enti no electoral commission any security forces ni nyina no omonfa omonan si fom pa omonfa omonan si fom yie na omonhwe se bambo no bi miam yie na obi ntimi mma electoral center honum ana say polling center honum no emma meye bibi basa na bibia
be ma enyini na ne ho system no ne hormones na e ma ne ye be ma na eno so edojo nti e fom no na ama prostate gland edojo nti e fom no na ama prostate gland no so eye kese na e dey how bebre abre no mostly no ade bi a ye ka se etaye familiar nti say bi a o papa bi enya prostate enlargement a also o high risk o prostate no unyini a ebe kese nti so o na o papa bi ana o na bi enya prostate enlargement a ama no problems a ele say also e wo mo a o be check on as young as o ye no say bi a o 30 years kra 40 years a o be check on prostate size no ehwe nti mostly no say ka se prostate enlargement a problems bi e timede ba ma ho ne say obre wo Johnson ho nti mostly no be hun say obi ho a o Johnson a be ma na Johnson tentem nti ye be friend frequent urination o Johnson ya be 20 minutes na Johnson exercise and a lot of times no complain and for a time nocturia which is enumerate anajo Johnson nti be hun say instead of say be o be sorry be 1 or 2 times in the night at Johnson no o to me sorry be 5 to 6 to 7 times inti sanu ka wonti min na ye obi so ho ase Johnson na o filise Johnson wan Johnson nyina obe won se na ne bladder no o filise stila Johnson kakra e wo ne Johnson twanu obi so ho ase Johnson obe won se ye fe bibi dribbling obe won se oba Johnson na stila Johnson ne so nyina hu bibi se e fa ho a e se oba medical diagnostic services ye be scans any labs e dey ahwe dey ekoso e fa wo Johnson ho ase o prostate na ya lab
ezu minimsa moha ekwanye hia mopa eye wi oso eko ase okokwan no eye ndisi na beba be sa kwan na mamo na mo ho atomo ezu na afede omo campaign atosium enti ne aka se omoko a omuhunahuna Ghana for enti ba ko omo se o motuma ndisi a omo ba free SHS no ombe ye free anya no kreda ndisi mom na beba be shemu kina ne aye ni yie se ne be Mpasaso a was ye nye free mo no ye benya double track no ebe ye free ho sena ye ma eco school na watching nine normal betref ye bosom mienu bosom miensa ye ba ebe siesie sena ebe ya omu na be co school prekope ye ma kwa ya no omu na aba ezu afenso matese moha nia omunama omoka ene se omo do ewo forest nchenchen and this ba ye beba be pamu enye no kreda ezu ndc mom ene beba beboa ama ekwejuma etumpon na ye den a se ye beba be pam ekwiafo se baby a forest no mo twitwa say no enti se ye do eduane oso edia se ya depa enti se asem o mo kan no mama fa nye edwuma eye ntro o mo nim se o mo di nkugo enti aka o mo ntro nko a ezu eza MPP aban abra ndc woso a omuka se yento aba ma omo na omo se Ghana ye den enti omo de omo ba ombe titi bibia so se de be ya ye ho betoy enso afi na bibia ebo kosoro eduane bo aye den cement bo aye den light bo aye den petrol bo aye den fertilizer bo aye den bibia bo aye den enti ni omo kan no omo ntimi endi so enti ankan so hwe na omo chura Ghana for ene ye teacher for aye mark omo anka omo anya 0 0 0 0 0 Ezu now control social so now nya 0 0 0 0 0 eden omo yi wedi enti emre na so say ebe yi omo edi na omo akotre fie na NDC empuntu ohene ya ye beba be siesie mo akwan ya tweka ne amanipa ya mamusio anom yesisi school adan amamo yesi aya sabia amamo emre na so say empuntu ohene NDC esamba na ye beji oman no ezu ene amene mo kai wo hwe NDC abreso samre no se ukuta national health insurance card se o de ko hospital ye hwe wia wonya ndro ni bi ebe fie benom ene so de NHI card no Mpasaso e wo so a ne se ye be yi wo card ama wo now they ko hu doctor wo ni wi abibi on betra ma obi a eto de bi a paracetamol po onya e wo for hospital aje se o ko drug store ekoto ezu ebi se etwa omoji a your friend the national health insurance levy no abanji a yemfa ma health insurance for senebeya omobetua hospital naka enti NDC ba ebeba bia senebeya wo de health insurance card kwa ye be show na yempo NDC ye de ade a your friend free primary health care eba and no chips compound o health center clinic polyclinic ni na wo kwa wontua hwe free of charge and on your friend free primary health care na free primary health care no ye be wo nipa your friend volunteer nipa we yi no ho se o be boa ni kro na sa volunteer no ye be train no enti emre bia obeba house to house owo fidia obehwe se wo mojabroso se wo isichire yare o sa yare ni na obehwe se na be ya ye be so ano ansana ani bibi foforo enti eno so eyade a ye de ba assembly for ye betia omo bibi kakra assemblymen and women se na be ya omso betimi aboa omo manfo se obi wo ewo krom ho a assemblyman owo fidie bi a ode be hyem se obi wo a owo fidie a ode be hyem se na be ya emre bia ye be hu nipa dodo a ewo krom ho nipa ewu nipa ya wo omo ni nyina assemblyman ejuma na obeye enti enunti assemblyman no ye be ma omo moto se na be ya on betimi akoko bebre na omotimi ayo omo ejuma ezu afe mo emabunu ni opese oye ejuma bia opese oye abefuo ye be boa o eni nduaba no ye be gi asase no ye be ko hene ho ni akogi asase ama ni edua abena ma o do ahwe so kopense ebenyi no twa wade no akoto wonye sika opese o hwe nkoko a ye be ma nkoko obo ni ama nkoko nkoko no ni ede nkoko no edua ni ama ni a che o se ni wo hwe nkoko no ezu oyo bana opese ototo pa no meat pie ye beto phone no ama ye be ma o esam ni ama sika kakra ni a che o se na ototo sa ni o ma no na so otopa no oto meat pie na woton enti enjuma bebre wo ho a ye de ba se na be ya ye mabunu be nya bia ye enti we de make bebre ye se asempa etia memre da ye koi ye koto abai ye na ye hye sa chinie su no ye na ye nim NDC chinie meboa ye na ye nim NDC chinie no meboa enti emre no duru ho a wo ye ma wo krata na wo de hwehwe chinie no na fa wo sabo inkrimu na fa tim wotim ya papa kokromoti no na wo ansa no abobo okrata no wanye de sa na enkna wo na okosom biom na ebo bebia ebese krata no enti edanu duru ho a ma obia en nadaw manante Ghana enyina bebia makobia obia ejia to region bia almost nyame adom inshallah NDC eneba NDC enebedi nkunim Yeba yebesi technical vocational educational training. Ebe say yehu say afe enyuma bebre omo hia omo a omo sha omo sanu ejuma. Enti yebesi abefo technical vocational educational training. Say na wa person sha adepam wa person wo ye electrician, wo person wo ye plumber, bibia wo person wo sua bia ye de beba ha no akosua we are near mouth certificate. Sa certificate no shefa bambo for ana yefa aban ejumayefo a wo so certificate no de kwa ye befa obi eza afeso ye ma senior high school ye ma senior high school say nyame omadom no mo tron social no mo passe no mbe nursing training and college of education and university maybe mbe ko bia afie di kan mbe ko sa university no and nursing training no aban age kan nyina omuntu ahwe eno mako eza Abaka Sedika catcher me say Adebako Adamu akuma so ene se muhia nursing training wa ha enti montomano na omra parliament na menene nye djuma mamo na sa ade Adamu akuma so no ye de ba ha ne ebe ye mo akwan ye tweka ne ama nkrofo ye ma musio mponto bia muhia bia ne de amamo eza Ewomu say MPP for there Oma dream say omu yo oma nyo mo beto ama omo enti oma fa ye nyina akwa eche say omo nyehwe nso emre nudu ho a on beto ama na afeso ebi mbuka se sebi ye de odwanpo ebegina yankrofo asantiman beto ama omo samre no atwam emre dane emre sesa afe ye nto sabium ye to say benya asetena pa
other urine problems bi na wowa ni na ye be hwama enti se unya sa symptoms ya etese oba medical services na ye show enti mostly no complications or was urine prostate enlargement ne say it's me or urine retention is just saying because I want to make engine so no they be another on a bia cow jun so training it's me urine bacteria infection because I Jones on a say young coupon bonus said that Jones so training ma APNO this is the case I will prostate a fusion urethra na ye kano into Jones on a bar kakra na ejai eba kakra na ejai into dey bia o bladder no junso bebre wo na ama o infection that infections are ye kan so it may travel echo with kidneys which is adia ehu pa and sometimes so urine retention no the urine no eye bebre ana eka wo junso chanum a move back to the kidneys no ye fresh into that hydronephrosis aye kan junso na o kidneys now form and develop MP no they say Johnson sign call back to they be free na ama o kidneys na esene say ye adwuma no enye adwuma sa nso be hu say na the kidney failure ne ade nti ade say ye ma ye ni ekon pa especially ye nuano mema o pass bi no be change exercise bi no obeye ana say ni lifestyle bi no obesesama complications na what prostate enlargement no whole complications and problems for fry bit me dey abroad ne say then I make beginning a bit me ama urinary tract infection into symptoms na order than a bit me increasing more then any bi say bia obedun so bebre ne ade and I go hon so awodu so kra na emu hyehyew ne ade